Now. All right. So what's going on, everybody?
This is all fair. Oh, there we go.
There you go. That's the beginning of the video. Excellent.
Oh, there it is.
My pies are in the oven. I'm happy. Cranberry bread's out of the oven. So that's the last. The pies are the last thing I'm doing tonight. So
I saw you were baking. You really enjoying this holiday?
oh yeah, I enjoy baking in general. We do a lot of baking at home. My wife has been picking up and doing more of the baking recently, but still, I generally do the Thanksgiving, most of that food. She's doing the turkey this year, but I get to do the other stuff. So, and she'll do mashed potatoes, but I get to make the stuffing and well, she made the bread for the stuffing. So we do everything from scratch, really from scratch, but it's fun. End of story. It's awesome.
You got family come in or what?
No, not this year. Normally we have some family in, but Hannah's mother, who often joins us, is going to be visiting family. So it's just us. It's Hannah, myself, the 4 kids, and then her brother's probably going to drop in. So it'll be fun. Play some Minecraft, have some good food. Life.
Yeah, we were. Randy usually likes to cook a lot, but she's about ready to have that baby any day now, so she didn't want to cook.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing depending on her, so. Yeah.
So do you have anything planned for tomorrow?
We're gonna go to my grandma's house and,
Oh,
sit
okay.
there. But other than that, no.
Yeah, eat their food. Excellent.
Yeah, we usually make our rounds going to several different houses, but we're only gonna do one this year and come home and rest.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Paul? Do you guys have anything?
Never really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not much of a holiday person.
What'd you say?
I'm not much of a holiday person, so I never really do much.
Yeah. I don't mind the holidays where other people cook. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, what?
I was just going to say, our kids at this point won't let us ignore holidays. I mean, the kids have been talking about Thanksgiving for weeks now. And all day long, they've been going on and on and on about how excited they are about Thanksgiving. We have to have the cranberry bread in the morning. We have to have the sweet potato casserole and the turkey and everything. And we have to watch Christmas Vacation and the whole deal. So, yeah, we're past the days where we cannot care about holidays.
Yeah. Cranberry beer. I'm not sure I'm a fan yet.
Thanksgiving. Excellent.
I know about that one. Well, I guess you're going to be in the holiday spirit at least. Well, what?
We already decorated for Christmas. We started early.
My neighbors started doing that today. I noticed. But, well, so what about news? Anybody want to talk about anything in the news?
What's there to talk about? People lying, whatever.
How about
mainstream media crazy?
How about Kanye West? Have you guys heard about him?
Oh, he got, like, institutionalized?
Yeah. He got put in a hospital. They said it was voluntary, but he was convinced to go commit himself. He spent he had some concert somewhere. I don't even remember where it was, but he spent like a good chunk of his concert. All right, bye, Ryan. He spent a good chunk of his concert on stage, like just ranting at the people, talking about if he would have voted for Trump. And Hillary Clinton lost the election for the Democrats. And then he started going off on how the music industry is really, they keep out the people that are telling the truth and only put the people that are saying the rhetoric. He used different words, of course. But he was pretty much talking about how the music industry is designed to manipulate people. And so shortly after the concert, I don't know if it was the next day or that night or whatever, but he voluntarily committed himself and canceled his tour. But there's bootleg videos of people filming the rant with his cell phone or with their cell phones on YouTube. But then I saw Alex Jones said something about it. He was calling out to Kanye saying, "Look, if you really want to talk about it, if you're serious, you can come on the show anytime."
I heard that tour would cost or would net him like what, $30 million or something.
Probably help him pay back that debt.
Yeah, the poor guy.
I read the rant, but I didn't know that he actually did commit himself. I thought that was a joke. Hard to tell nowadays.
Well, that's what all the news stations are reporting now. A couple of days after it happened, now they're saying that it was voluntary. But I mean, how voluntary was it? You know, he had people convincing him, like, "Hey, man, you're gonna lose your career and all this stuff if you don't try to fix it." So maybe somebody did. Maybe somebody convinced him.
So, in other words, they didn't get enough press when what's her name got robbed in Paris. So, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, everybody was paying attention to the election. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But no, I remember part of that rant, he was actually talking about, like, Mark Zuckerberg lied to you. Google lied to you. Everybody lied to you. I was like, oh, man. Called out Mark Zuckerberg. That's hilarious.
So did you hear about
Facebook?
I couldn't hear you, Paul.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
So he gets kicked off Facebook.
Yeah, I know. I made a post in the group that he got zucked in real life.
Well, did you hear about the new Facebook tool, which is allowing them to get back into China?
Allowing Facebook?
Yeah. Because remember years ago, Facebook came out and it grew in China. And then the government said, hey, you need to give us the ability to, basically censor, kick off, or hide anything we want to. To which Facebook took a stand of principle, and we won't do that. We stand for openness and transparency and bringing people together and whatever, their lie at that time was. So either way, they announced this week they're in, having worked with the Chinese government now, they announced their tool. They now have the tool all set so they can come back to China. This tool allows a third party or third parties to monitor traffic on Facebook, not just public, but public and private. So basically they can watch trends. They can see articles, stories, posts, topics, things trending, and then they can just say, nope, we don't want this, and make it go away, just disappear. And then I don't know if it deletes the actual posts or if it just makes it so that they're invisible, and even though you see it on your wall, no one else can see it. But yeah, it was
Reddit shadow ban.
I don't know exactly how it works. They didn't officially announce it, but it was Facebook employees who came out and said they were just completely pissed that they were doing this because it was, that was the whole point. We stand for people, not oppressive regimes who are trying to control information. But yeah, you're right. But you've heard. What was that?
We saw how long that lasted.
Yeah. Well, you've heard about Mark Zuckerberg kissing up to the Chinese a lot recently. He's been learning Mandarin and then he's doing all this stuff. I've seen articles about that for years now. So he's been working with them doing something. So at least according to those Facebook employees, it was on major news outlets, I think yesterday.
New York Times here. Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't some little tiny blog or something. But how do you like that?
Is that just China or is that everywhere?
Well, seriously, if they have the technology in place for China to do that, then what other country is going to say, oh, yeah, you can keep doing business here without that?
Yeah.
Once the tool's in place, no idea where, but you have to assume at this point it's everywhere.
It does not suppress itself. Instead, it will offer a software-enabled third party. It's like giving the keys to Facebook to somebody. It's
a government agency or, So how do you like that?
Or just them doing it themselves.
Well, they wouldn't have the resources, I assume, nor would they wouldn't have the political motivations to clean up the posts that the Chinese government doesn't want, The government would then hire the people who would make those decisions.
Their own, their own end, whatever those may be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and if they get bought off by a government too, I mean, that could motivate them. But I think I could see the better option being that they create the tool for the government to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I think Facebook, at least for me, is it's kind of sunsetting. With that kind of stuff, and then watching them. What was that virus post that went around last weekend, where you got a virus, and they banned you or whatever from sharing anything.
That's one thing I was wanting to talk about tonight, to see how you guys have responded to that. Have you guys all got that prompt before?
No.
Well,
I didn't. I took screenshots of it to share it.
Okay.
That way.
There was that post. Okay. I shared the post. I know at least between 10 and 12 people who also shared it. And every single one of us, after we shared it, we got logged out of Facebook. Then we got, brought back to the restriction thing. You're on restriction because you did whatever. You will be limited in your functionality. It's like, okay, that's weird, but okay, no big deal. And then a little while later, got logged out again. And this time it brought up a big blue screen. And it said, hey, your computer is probably infected with malware. Use Facebook. You have to install our tool in order to continue using Facebook. Install it on your computer, run it, and then you'll be allowed to get on Facebook again. Like they have it monitored in Windows. Okay, listen to this. In Windows, they have it monitored. Now, in Windows, what they asked you to actually download and run, it wasn't an MSI. It wasn't an installer, okay? It was an actual executable. Just a plain exe that you were supposed to download and run as is. And they said, yeah, this is from us. This is just run this tool and all will be well. And you can read about that tool on the internet. You can read about people who installed it. Well, didn't install it, they ran it. And then they went to remove it and they couldn't find it. They didn't know where it was or what it did. There was no trace of it and all this garbage. But have you guys ever seen that before?
No, this is
I got it. I got it. My wife got it. A number of other people. I called a Facebook employee I knew, was talking to him about it, and he'd never heard of it. But I found official Facebook documentation on it, or their press release when they made that thing. But it's really scary when you reach there. It's ransomware, because Facebook is an application we use at this point. It's a regular part of people's lives. And they're saying, I want you to run this native code, this executable on your Windows machine if you're going to keep using Facebook. And you cannot use Facebook. You can try log in as many times as you want, go around, switch operating systems. You always get that. Okay? It won't work until you've done this, according to their release. But they say you have to run this or you can't use Facebook. Just completely locked out. How do you like that? Talk about corporate ransomware. That is insane. That's the rule number one of the internet, is if any website tells you you have to install this thing in order to use this website, you say, whoa, wait a second. The whole point of the internet is there's a wall between your computer and them.
Yeah.
I was in shock. I can tell you my way around it, but I was really curious if any of you guys had actually come across that.
No, I haven't come across it.
But as I got auto-logged out of everything once.
What was that?
But I got auto-logged out of everything, but I didn't end up getting that message. But it was right after about that.
Well, I know a number of people, they all installed it. Okay, well, the people I knew installed it. But the way around that, okay, you can't get around it in Windows. Like, there's basically no way around it. In Windows, you have to run their tool for it to work. But, okay, Linux. If you log into Facebook from Linux, they don't have software for Linux. So if you log into Facebook from Linux, it will say, hey, you probably have malware. Click here to get started. And you read this little blurb, and then it says, run anti-malware software on your computer. And you can click, yes, I am declaring here that I don't have any viruses or malware on my computer. Then they will let you in. Then you can go back to your Windows machine and log back in. OS X or Mac OS OS 10, whatever you want to call it. They have the same way, where you have to affirm that you don't have any on your computer. I don't think they force you to actually run anything. So if any of you guys get that, it is basically impossible. I couldn't find anything on the internet or any way around it. But if you get on get on Mac OS or Linux, log in, you'll be clear.
Can you do it?
And then
Can you do it from a phone?
I don't know. I do not know the case of that. My wife was the one who I didn't know this was the case when I got it because I was on another operating system, and I just clicked. I'm like, sure, I affirm that I don't have any malware. Heck no, I'm not going to download any software you want me to download. But my wife, who doesn't have Facebook, like the app on her phone, she then got it on her computer. So I had no way of seeing what it does on a mobile. But yeah, she has a Windows machine. And only after a long time of trying to figure that out did I realize, hey, wait a second, I only got an affirmation, and I bet that's the same thing. And sure enough, it was. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah, that could be just a...
Anything that's like a good alternative to Facebook. I mean, if they're really, pulling this kind of shit. I mean, like, we've got, like, Gab that's a good alternative to Twitter. We've got Vote that's a good alternative to, like, Reddit. But I don't know of anything that's really, trying to do what Facebook does.
Well, I know of a few. I mean, I've heard of, Minds is doing okay. Steam was, it was doing all right there for a while. But it's not quite like Facebook. The issue is, I mean, it's whatever the masses go to. I mean, the great thing about Facebook is that everybody uses it. So, I mean, there has to be something that everybody starts using. And that's really what it is.
That's always what it comes down to. The technology itself is, I mean, come on. Everyone's building Facebook clones these days. Like it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
What makes Facebook great is the fact that there's people there. And that's the problem. Nothing has the reach of Facebook. I mean, we could say, we're tired of being this. We're going to get on tour and we're going to have our own thing and we could have all the features we want and everything. But guess what? In the end, you're not going to have people. You might get one small group, but what good is, a dozen of us? Maybe we could be lucky and get 40 of us all using a thing every day. But then what about your phone? You also have to have it on your phone. And if you're using, theoretically you could use regular internet, but at the same time, then everyone also has to have the thing on their phone. They also have to have it on their different operating systems. It's difficult. Facebook has the reach. That's why we use it. That's how we know each other. We wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for Facebook. And half the things we share,
well, I know,
we click
the
share.
Censorship on Twitter and Vote and places like that, that's doing a lot to drive, conservatives at least to these alternate sites. And I'm wondering, like, how bad is have to get on Facebook before people who, just say, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to somewhere else. Because that's what's really going to make the difference is when you actually piss people off enough that they actually make that migration the way that they've done to a couple other sites.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know how bad it has to get. I mean, and I don't know that it even has to get bad. I don't really know exactly what has to happen. People have to just suddenly decide to change and just, it happens. I mean, look at going from MySpace to Facebook. I don't think there was anything really, I don't remember anything really wrong with MySpace. I think...
Just get it better and pull people in, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, maybe instead of finding something new, I'll just go back and log into my own MySpace account and I'm going to hang out there. But, no, I mean, I don't remember everything that actually happened that made everybody move from MySpace to Facebook, other than I think that's where all the younger people went was Facebook. But I don't know. Then again, Twitter. I mean, I still don't have a Twitter, so I don't know why people go there. But I've heard that's going down.
Twitter's it's crazy what they're doing right now, kicking people off and removing people's their the check, that shows that they're actually the real person.
Yeah.
Crazy, bizarre stuff. And did you guys hear what Barack Obama said? I forget where, but he was talking about fake news and how we just had an election and there were people sharing these fake news articles going around like wildfire. And we know what he's talking about when he's talking about fake news. He's talking about non-approved news. Either way, even though there are fake news, but we laugh at the people who share the actual fake news. But still,
Yeah.
Come on. He was talking.
I was going to say, I watched a video earlier about that where it was a guy that was talking about CNN, talking about fake news. And then he showed examples of, like there was one report where the two people talking were supposed to be across the country from each other, but then it showed that they were in the same parking lot because you had the same building behind them, the same cars were going by them. And then had things like somebody reporting that they were in Saudi Arabia getting bombed and they were in front of a blue screen.
Yep.
And just all these different things. It's like, well, who really is the fake news?
Yeah. Anderson Cooper, lying about things. I forget all the other people. Yeah, they do it all the time, for goodness sakes.
But he was a camera guy, and he was supposed to be like a representative of some group, but he was just a camera guy. And it's
yeah, that Hillary
shut up spot.
Yeah. Well, and then Brian Williams. I mean, like that guy.
That's who. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Well, either way, Barack Obama said what he said was basically there's a lot that we can't do anything about. Or for those things that we can, but when it comes to fake news or whatever, that's something we can do something about. To which I say, what? What are you talking? What does that even mean? What do you mean that's something we could do something about?
Well, it's convenient.
What the heck? What's he talking about?
Well, it's convenient that the whole fake news thing starts coming out right after that tool you were just talking about. I mean, you want to know what they're going to do. They're going to use the same tool to start saying, well, we have to delete fake news. That's all we're going to do is we're only going to delete fake news.
Yep. Well, and like you had that crazy professor lady, last week coming out with her list of fake news sources. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breitbart and InfoWars and all these places. It's like, man, you don't have to like what they say, but they share good information, often better information than the mainstream media themselves share. So don't give us this crap. Like, seriously. Yeah. But what do you think that the federal government has some tool that we don't know about? Or when Barack Obama says that's something we can do something about, or that's something we can control, what the heck do you think he's talking about?
Was he just encouraging, or is he, alluding to something from the state? That's what I.
Well, it's vague, but it's vague in a scary way. It's like, are you going to put political pressure on people? Like legal pressure on groups. Are you going to go to the places where information shared, Facebook and Google and Twitter, and lean into them really hard? Just focus on those, or is there some overarching tool that they're going to use? What? I don't know. That just weirds me out.
That tool you were talking about that Facebook just created for China, you use that, and then you get Google on board and Twitter on board, and I mean you've eliminated the majority of the sharing.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other places you're going to see it are on the deep web, and I mean, how many people are actually on the deep web? Well, I know. I mean, not a good chunk of the population.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if there was an alternative, if there was, something where I knew that you guys would all be on, if all the, well, I won't say it, but, the state is not God, for example, or something even better than that. If something existed, if we were all on some other platform, some other place, that would, I mean, I would totally use it, but it would also have to be online. You know, I mean, it'd have to be online. It would have to be reliable. It'd have to be available on all of our computers. Plus, it'd have to be available on the phone. I mean, you know, how much of our computing do we do on our phone, on our Kindle, on iPad, on whatever I mean, come on. I go through like half a dozen devices in a day that I'm switching between, and it's seamless with Facebook and other, you know, things. I mean, it's there's no longer, you don't have the device that you use for everything anymore. And if there's one thing if there's one thing that doesn't fit, suddenly you're like slamming into it, you know? Because everything else, I mean, I have Slack and Facebook and email and internet, and I have it here, and I have it on this computer, and I have it on that computer, and that computer. I have it everywhere. I mean, I could even have it from this computer if I wanted to, or my Kindle, and everywhere. Like, it's just part of life now, you know? And that's the way most people are as well. You're just not going to use something if you can't get on it.
I mean, there's things we can go to and have our own, you know, chat group if we just had our own echo chamber. But part of the lure of Facebook is that, you know, you can leave the State is Not God group and go find some other group to talk into or troll, or
right.
That your reach is outside of your echo chamber, and we could go right now to the fire chat and just, you know. So it's not just that there's not an alternative, but there's not an alternative that also can reach everyone else.
Well, and things can't get into Facebook. You see that awesome post that somebody shared, and you're like, that is amazing. You can't click share and have it go out to your other things somewhere else, you know? Then you're back to the days of copying, pasting links, and guess what? I mean, what are you going to do when you're on your phone? Like, that just doesn't work, you know? Copying and pasting links over into your mobile browser on your guys have put together somewhere. It just, I mean, I do lots of crazy things during the day, and I don't mind doing that, but I mean, we're the weird ones, you know? I mean, most people, just technology is just such a part of their life, and having everything just work, that if something doesn't work, they just turn and walk away.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to MySpace after this. I'll put you in my top 8. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing back MySpace. Tom wasn't such a bad guy. I mean, he would never do this to us. I never got banned from MySpace.
My wife signed me up for MySpace and Facebook. Neither of them. I had not the slightest interest back in the day.
I wasn't going to sign up for Facebook. I went until, like, 2012 or so. People have been on Facebook for a couple of years. But then, like, I started missing family events because they started creating events on Facebook and all this. I'm like, well, how come nobody invited me? Like, well, we sent it out on Facebook. I'm like, but I don't have Facebook. Well, you and Granny go.
I think the last that were the last ones to say, I will never get a Facebook. That was the thing that finally made them do it. Party. And I mean, look, I had a party, and like, well, I didn't know about it. I'm like, you don't got Facebook, you loser. And now they have Facebook. I mean, like, well, Google Plus. If Google couldn't even get Google Plus.
Now there's a joke.
I was hoping Google Plus could come in and knock out Facebook. I just want to see it happen.
At least if there'd be a competitor who's kind of, you know, at least up there a little bit, that would, in some small way, up the game, you know. But
well, yeah, and it has all the integration with YouTube and all that other stuff that, you know, same as Facebook does. It has the app. It has all this. You know, it has everything that Facebook has, but, you know, people won't have a reason to move over. I guess they have to have a reason to move over.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, and if the reason some of them are going to move over is that, you know, Facebook starts censoring people and turns into an echo chamber. You know, if we're talking about Google Plus, you think Google's not going to do the same thing? So I don't think
they already are. Yeah.
No one's going to see Google as like a good alternative to that. You're going to have something new that's not already controlled by the kind of people that would do that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, you know, you could go to where they go to the extremes where you have completely anonymous posting, almost like 4chan. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a totally anonymous social media website but nobody liked it because they were still getting bullied. Actually, I think what it was it. I wish I could remember the name of it now because it was promoted as anonymous and you could say whatever you want, but they were actually using it to create algorithms to track internet bullying. I wish I could. Yeah, I wish I could remember
that thing.
Yeah. I never signed up for it, but I mean something like that. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean that'd attract people like us, but you're still going to get an echo chamber, much like 4chan is, and I mean, that gets to such an echo chamber that the echoes start going way off the wall. But, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you got to get the normal people on board, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and right now, they don't like the type of people that tell them things they don't like to hear.
So, I mean, I got a family member I should want to go into for Thanksgiving, post there. Don't want to see any more political posts, or I'm going to unfriend you. I just want to see things about, cars and family pictures.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a
that's how
question and then put a big political rant on it just
to. That's how I ended up ruining Thanksgiving last year.
Yeah, well, maybe it's good that we're not having family this Thanksgiving. I know way too many people who are, on the Hillary train and just so in. And if you don't, it doesn't matter if you supported Trump or not. If you're not on their train, you are the problem. Yeah.
I'm going to try not to talk politics.
What?
You're quiet, Paul.
Oh, I know some Democrats like that too.
Oh yeah. See, being in Oklahoma, it's all Trump here. I have one family member that's a Clinton supporter, but I mean, even still, I think I'm going to stay away from. I'm going to try to avoid talking politics. I mean, because even still, because it's almost worse with them because they're like, I'm conservative. But no, you're not, and I'm going to tell you why. And so, like, it really makes them mad. I'm like, no, your wall isn't conservative. Your public health care, none of that stuff's conservative. Your military, not conservative. They get mad. So,
well, that depends on your definition of conservative, because most people would consider neoconservatism to be conservatism. So that includes all the centralized power, all the centralized control, the military interventions, all that. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's synonymous. It was Jonah Goldberg was the one who had an article not too long ago, op-ed, where he said, can't we just stop saying the word neocon? It's so pointless because neoconservatism is conservatism. He's like, if you guys want to be something else, find a different word. To which I'm not a conservative, nor am I a neoconservative. But still, it's like,
well, it's just
when I hear people say conservative, you have to assume they're neoconservative, which means that they're the Sean Hannity, the Rush Limbaughs, the centralized, strong, controlling government, the culture controllers, the ones who have a divine right of rulership. It just goes with the territory, whether they're Trump supporters or not.
Well, that's just a matter of just the redefining words. The same thing that progressives did with liberalism.
Yeah.
I like to tell them, you're not a conservative, you're a progressive. You're the same thing, which really just makes them mad. But yeah, no, I'm a Republican. No, you're the same thing.
Come on, well, Republicans are the party of Lincoln. Come on, they've all
exactly.
They're not what they think they are, but neither is Republican what they're told Republican is. They think they're for this small government. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You really think you're for small government?
No, I want the local government to tell everybody what to do, but I want all the local governments to say the same thing.
Well, I heard somebody say last week in another private group, he said, I am so tired of all these levels of government. We are being libertarian dude. We're being oppressed on all levels, and it's just redundant. Everyone's, one group controls this. Everyone gets tax money all the way up. He said, so we should get rid of local municipal governments and just move all government to the county level. To which I said, dude, I mean, turn your brain on. Like,
getting rid of states altogether.
That's what I was saying.
Local government and federal, and that's it. No more states.
Well, that's the thing.
The whole Calexit thing is the whole California succeed. I think that would be probably the first experiment in a state being absorbed by the federal government.
Yeah,
that's probably what they want. They
Alexa,
want they fail financially, they can absorb them.
Yeah, well, we'll see with that. But it's absurd. What I told him was, well, I mean, you want to get rid of the closest government to move up to something farther away. I'm like, he's like, well, but it reduces redundancy. It's one more less group to tax. To which I said, well, then why don't we just get rid of why don't we just get rid of the states? They're redundant. We'll just move all of it up to the federal government, only one level to deal with, clean and easy. He goes, ooh, you gotta be crazy. I'm like, no, you're crazy, not me. Let's start at the top and work our way down. Like, come on. Or we can get rid of county. Sure, whatever.
But let each level of government for one thing, and they can only do that one thing and nothing else. Just one thing per level.
Yeah.
One thing per level. That's fair. That's federalism. That's supposed to be the whole point. I need to check the pies. I'll be back.
Yeah, so California exiting. That was did I see it in the group where they were talking about they wanted to check the UN because the wasn't going to get on board, so they said, well, we're going to go to the UN and go over Congress's head, as if Congress has to listen to what the UN says. And of course, my first response was, do you still want to go get permission to secede? Do you even know what you're talking about? Like, you don't ask permission, you just do it. Like, the whole point is that you're free.
Not asking for permission anymore.
Right? I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, we're going to be our own country.
One parent for a new one.
Yeah, really. It's like, they're jumping off that one tit for the other tit, like,
Alexa,
like it's going to be any better.
set a timer for 15 minutes.
50, got it, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, stop that timer.
He's yelling at his little Amazon thing. That's what it is.
Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Also, include everything you say to the NSA. You got that little NSA spy bot?
Spy bot?
Sure, I'll set timers for you.
Oh.
I mean, we're going to tell Obama everything you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Alexa. Yeah, we love them. Yeah. No, stop. But, yeah, she's great. I love her. I have her in both my offices, and I have her down here. Use her all the time, nonstop. So.
Yeah?
We all make compromises.
Right? I'm about to say, do you know that it's secure, that it's not reporting anything crazy?
No, I don't. I won't. I will say that there are times where Hannah and I will be having a conversation. She says, maybe we should go to the back of the house. So, I mean, at the same time, it's Amazon, and it's not Google. It's not Facebook. It's not Microsoft. So, that's nice to know. That's one. I definitely trust them more than I trust the other people. At least as far as I know, Facebook only shares information internally. They have an extremely great profile on all of us, but it's within the store. Their profit model doesn't come from selling my information to other people.
Yeah.
It would be quite upsetting if we find out later that they've been lying to us this whole time and they've been feeding all their information into Google or something, but I don't see the benefit in that business-wise for them. So worst case scenario, they get some sort of warrant or thing from the government where they have to put some sort of middleman software which can monitor the data coming into the boxes or the canisters, and then they can monitor it in real time. We'll just have to wait and see on that. I mean, to a certain extent, you have to assume it's already happened. That's how I live generally. I always assume the worst when it comes to technology, because we're always proven to be. Yeah, it's always proven eventually that the federal government's doing everything. But, we'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to use her for all she's worth. I cannot say how natural it is to speak to technology like that. It is completely normal. It was not an adjustment at all. As soon as she was here, just suddenly I'm talking to her and she's reading books and playing music and setting timers, and we're sitting having a conversation, turn around and say, "Hey, when did Leonard Nimoy die?" And she tells us. Or my daughter's talking about, teeth, and she says, "Well, we have 20 teeth in our mouth, exactly 20 teeth." And I said, "I don't think so. Hey, how many teeth does a human have in their mouth?" And she knows. It's amazing. Not to mention, you connect her to some light sockets or some power sockets, and suddenly, hey, turn on the office lights. They're on. Unlock the front door. I'm not doing that, but still. Did any of you guys watch Mr. Robot?
No?
No?
Really good show.
Yeah. Well, in one of the episodes, one of the FBI agents, she gets up in the morning, and there's this long extended sequence, maybe 5 minutes or something, of her just going about her getting, not 5 minutes, either way, it's this long extended sequence of her getting up in the morning, getting ready, and she has Alexa in every room. Stop. She keeps, yeah. But over the course of her morning, she's do this, turn this on, stop this. Read me what's the new, yeah. And it's so cool because, she can do all those things, I saw that and went, wow. I do that. And it doesn't seem like space age stuff to me. But you see someone on television doing it, and you're like, that's really amazing how far we've come.
You're loud. Come in here. You want to say hi? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just try to figure out how much I would actually use something like that. I guess the kitchen timer or the timer thing would be useful to be able to yell at something and start a timer. But
the phone already does that. That's why I figured out why I would want one yet.
I would end up cussing it out a lot. I would.
That's great. It is cathartic. It's wonderful to be a complete brat. Sometimes she'll come back with snarky remarks in, as a result. Really? Oh, yeah, sometimes. Not all the time. Most of the time it's, I did not understand your question. I'm like, screw you, I don't get it. Yeah. Either way, it feels great. You can't do that with real people, but she doesn't care.
If it argues back and smarts off back, it might be worth it to me. I love it.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. But she's great. I wish I had her everywhere. I wish she was on my computer as well. Like Apple now has Siri on their Mac OS computers, and where you can, just talk to your computer, open this program, do this. But, I want her. She's mine. She's my favorite. So,
well, I wonder if you could wire in extra microphones and speakers, and then move it to different rooms. Use one device and then move it to different rooms or something like that. Because is that how it activates off a microphone?
Well, yeah, it's an internal microphone. I'm sure you could hack it if you wanted to, but at this point, you can buy as many as you want, and they are connected to a certain extent, but not connected in some ways. I don't think they've come up with the right way of doing that at the moment. As in, you can't set a timer in one and with one, and then go downstairs and have it go off on another one downstairs when the timer's done. So that can be annoying at times, and I know Amazon's working on the right way to handle those kind of things, because that is, as a software developer, I can think of so many tricky things related in how you'd make that work right and to actually make people happy, and not, accidentally be having them playing music in rooms where someone's sleeping or timer going off in some other part. You have to do it right. So eventually I'm sure they'll enable that functionality, but for the time being they're somewhat separated. But we don't have a problem with that. Like I said, if I'm sitting in the office making tea, I'll set a timer there, rather than setting it up here and then going to the office, so. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to look into it. I don't know. That's always been my worry, is taking information from inside your house.
Oh, there you go. Where is she? Where's my screen? There we go. Woo! Alexa, say hello.
Hello.
Alexa, you're an idiot and I hate you.
I can't find the answer to the question I heard.
There you go.
All right, well, I'm gonna head out for the night. Later.
All right, man. See.
See ya. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
did
our
you-
conversation has devolved into.
What was that, Paul?
Well, we want to do some more of the home automation and stuff too. Just waiting for the prices to kind of come down. As you see like more competitors come out, like those Philips Hue lights
Mm-hmm.
that are Wi-Fi controlled.
Yeah. There's lots of things like that out there. I don't trust almost any of them at the moment. The protocols, well, the problem with all of them are the protocols, because most of these places use proprietary protocols, which is absolutely insane. Luckily, more of them are finally accepting open source, open protocols. And that's the only way to be safe, is to be completely transparent in how you're doing things. So once I see the vast majority of all the devices using the exact same protocols, then I will trust them some more. In the meantime, I do plan I'm getting a couple outlets, not specific devices, but just outlets that I can connect to her and be able to flip just a socket on, but not actual devices that connect on their, independently. So we'll see. That's kind of my easing. Alexa, stop. But that's kind of my easing into it. I'm going to see what this is like, and then I'll consider in the future doing more. But the prices are coming way down on this stuff. It's crazy. So just LED light bulbs, finally. We should have been making them 30 freaking years ago. It's not, they had the technology then. But still, I was getting them for just a couple bucks each at a Home Depot a few weeks ago. Even less than that. No, I think it was 30 cents each. It was they had some sale. I think I got 25 for $12 or something. It was 8 for $12. And that is insanely awesome for LED light bulbs. Times are great where we can speak to technology and get light bulbs after all these years, made with LEDs, for $1.25.
Yeah, I've been looking into Internet of Things and what I could do, especially. I don't know what I waited on so long to even look at Raspberry Pis, but now that I've got one, now I want to do more stuff with it. But of course, I was looking at it. I was looking at YouTube videos of all these people doing automations. My first thought was to put a gun on it, and so I'm sitting down. I'm sitting here talking like, all right, so how can we got to build a gun that electric motors will operate all the mechanisms, and then we can put it on a tripod and move it up and down. And we'll put a little camera on it, and we'll use that as a scope. I was like, I swear you can control it from a game controller in your cell phone.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the home automation we're going to do. That's home defense. You put that up on the roof.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what we can do with that.
Well, I got into this a few years ago when my wife and mother-in-law, they were saying, "Oh, we just need more fridge space, and all we have is this freezer in the basement." I went, "Hey, how about I get a microcomputer and I can program it so that it turns the freezer into a fridge?" And they said, "You can't do that." I said, "I will have it done in less than 2 weeks." It was a BeagleBone Black before they used to be better than the Pis for this stuff. Either way, programmed it using just simple JavaScript, hooked up basically a relay to it, and put it between the power that goes to the compressor, and then it just keeps track of the temperature as a temperature sensor and turns on the fridge and keeps it at between 37 and 40 degrees. Yeah, like you can do anything with these little computers. The sky's the limit. You're only limited by your own imagination.
I've heard of a lot of people doing that with deep freezes and turn them into refrigerators because they're supposed to conserve on energy more as well.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, well, because your upright fridge, you open it up, and since cold air falls, you're letting all the air out.
Mm-hmm.
But with the deep freeze, when you open up, at the top, your cold air falls, and you're not losing heat through the top. So it's actually supposed to be more energy efficient to turn a deep freeze into a refrigerator.
Well, ours is actually an upright freezer,
Oh.
so we don't have that benefit. But yeah.
Well, yeah. I've heard that they sell kits. I don't know how they do it. I'd have to look into it, but I've heard they make it really easy to convert those into refrigerators because a lot of off-grid people are doing that.
Okay.
They're going to that to kind of help conserve energy. Whenever you're on solar panels or whatever, every little bit counts.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've heard that's actually a really good way to conserve energy. Thought about doing it, just haven't done it yet.
Definitely be difficult if you're using a deep freeze, where you actually have to reach down inside. It'd be very difficult to arrange that as a usable refrigerator.
Yeah, right. It would be difficult, but I don't know what the savings, if it's actually worth it. You'd have to put everything.
Honey will save money. It's great. Yeah. Good luck convincing the wife of that.
Really small whenever you want some milk. But other than that, don't put the sliced cheese at the bottom. You'll never get it.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just one of those things that people do. They do all kinds of different things to help save energy. It's just a matter of if it's useful or not, or if it's worth the trouble.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear what you do with the Raspberry Pi. You need to, but you'll need to buy a few though. You can't do much with one. I mean, you can, but you can only do a few things with one.
So I started the server, and I need to get a different SATA to USB because the ones I got aren't working for whatever reason. But I need to get. I need to power the hard drives. I didn't think about that. That the Raspberry Pi doesn't provide enough power for the hard drive.
Exactly.
So
you need a powered hub. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a powered hub, but it's not working. Like I ordered a powered hub afterwards, but it's not transferring the data. So I don't know.
Is your Pi getting enough power?
I think so. I mean, it seems like it.
Because you need that 5 volts, and you need at least 1.2 amps. Because so many of these chargers, they're low powered. Like the amperage can be as low as like 700, and that makes no sense. Like it works if you want to slowly charge some off-brand device, but if you're using if you're needing an actual computer, like you need. I mean, I generally run mine at 1.8, 5 volts, 1.8 amps, and that does the trick fine. But anything below, when you get lower, than 1.5, it doesn't run as well, and you have problems.
I'll have to look. I just bought whatever came in. They had a bundle of suggested items with the Raspberry Pi because I bought mine on Amazon.
Okay, in that
And-
case, it's probably good because people who sell those kits generally sell it with the right amperage.
Yeah, I figured it was, but I need to buy. I'm gonna buy something that powers each hard drive individually because I got one hooked up and it works because I had a little box that would convert SATA to USB, but
Mhm.
so I'm gonna have to buy two more that work for that. But
Okay.
after that, I started looking, and I think I want to do a Pine A64. I think that was the one I was looking at for the server, and actually use the Raspberry Pi for something else. Because the Pine A64 is supposed to have higher RAM,
Yeah.
more processing speed, and things like that.
Well, like I send you, I mean, you can get like an old Dell, like a Dell tower for 120 or something bucks, and you're not going to have hardware incompatibilities because Dell just works, and you can put whatever Linux and do whatever you want, and yet you have an i5, second or third generation, plus 8 gig of RAM, and however much hard drive you need, plus you stick in whatever hard drive you want. Like that's the kind of server you want if you're doing a lot. Like if you're doing lots of downloading, plus if you have like a media server running on it, like you definitely need, if you're going to use Pis, you'd have to use a Pi for each of those individual items, and even then it would suffer. It would be a strain to do a media server on it. Hey, I need to check the Pis.
I thought Alexa was for that.
Oh, how come Alexa ain't getting the Pis? Thought she was all good. I thought about reminding them because I heard it go off.
Timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Working so hard. Well, so yeah, that's what I was looking at. The Pine A64 is a different mini computer. It's slightly bigger than the Raspberry Pi, but I mean, I do need to run a media server, and I need to download and all that stuff on it as well, and run a VPN. So I don't know if the Pi is going to be enough.
Probably
Yeah.
not. They're very limited, but what they do great.
So
So
I'll probably
how much would one of those be?
It's like $30. So and that might not be enough. I really need to look more into it.
Okay, well, that's a good
But-
price. A lot of when I have looked at the mini PCs, they always end up being too expensive for me. It feels like if I'm going to spend that much money, I might as well just get myself a few-year-old Dell Tower, So, yeah. Very
Well,
cool.
All right, I guess it's been an hour, so
How's it really?
yeah,
Okay.
we have one or two viewers pop up every now and then, but about average. Anyway,
Sounds good. It's been a
all
pleasure.
right, well, all right. See you
Y'all
guys.
have a good
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you guys too.
Bye.